Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite talk show, Bahrain Now. With me, your host, Bara Abdallah. We've got a great show lined up full of local talents, initiatives, and happenings from around the island. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, Ra'ed application offers a fun educational platform with diverse virtual programs that parents can choose from. Ra'ed application targets kids between the ages of 4 to 12 years old from all across the MENA region and offers programs in both Arabic and English. With us in the studio is the co-founder of Ra'ed application, Khalid Al-Blushi, and operational marketing manager, Mahmoud Shahab. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Bara. Hi.
Thank you so much for
It
having
is definitely a pleasure. Well, you are the Rawat of the Ra'ed application. I mean, I took like a small visit in the application itself, and I was like, oh my God, the quality is amazing. The quality is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Everything about it. So tell me more about Ra'ed application.
Yeah, so Ride is a mobile application that offers different type of programs and sessions for kids. It's fun, interactive, online educational sessions. We have a group of highly talented instructors that deliver these programs, and we have a custom-made content that like designed by us to achieve specific goals that we designed for each program.
Amazing, amazing. I mean, it's like textbook answer. I love that, definitely. I mean, so even going to a Ra'ed application, I mean, seeing all the programs that's been set and all the activities that are taking place, it woke the kid in me. It's like the kid in me is like, I want to play now. I want to use the application. So tell us more about the mission of the application.
Let's say the first thing we wanted to focus on before Ra'ed, we used to have an app. We still have the app. It's called Telp. Telp was more focused on tutoring.
Okay.
So we knew that it was a good product. It was an amazing product, but us as a team, we wanted to dive in more in the core problem of education.
Right.
So
right.
tutoring is just like a
Right.
band-aid that will just fix something for now, and you want to dive in and into the problem and try to solve it.
Wow.
So that was where like the mission of Ra'ed. We wanted to dive in education, make it fun, make it interactive, try to mix cultures like Bahrainis, Saudis from all over GCC together.
Okay.
We wanted to solve all of these issues and just make education fun, for kids to love it.
Brilliant. I mean, back in the 90s, right? Back when I was in high school, you said the trigger word, tutoring and tuitions, right?
Yeah.
We have what we call the tutoring or tuitions fever, in Arabic, taqwiyah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just putting a little plaster, a little thing on the side, just to, for example, so for the thing or for the sense of like, okay, now you took the major or the main thing, now just like, let's repeat the same thing over and over again in the hopes of you remembering that information. But you're absolutely right. I mean, pretty much we need to go to the core of the issue itself, which is the system itself, how to be educated, how to retain the information.
Exactly.
And again, going to the Ra'ed application, what I've seen over there is such talented, I would say, storytellers,
Right.
talented teachers, talented, I would say, I don't know, I mean, supervisors, mentors. It's amazing how all that took place. So you have an amazing product, but what made you see that, we need to go with that? What inspired you to actually do something like Ra'ed application?
Yeah. So like Mahmoud was saying, that we had a Telp that is a tutoring marketplace.
Okay.
And then during the rough time of COVID, we sat down, we said, okay, this is our time to shine. The schools are closed.
Okay.
We need to create something that's totally different than whatever is out there, and it needs to be focused on the kids, the next generation, because right now their education stopped. So we had few ideas thrown around, and the result was Ra'ed. Okay. We started with like the first program called Hakawati,
Okay.
which was just which like translated to storytelling.
Right.
So we found the best storytellers in the region, and we created this program.
Amazing.
And we just take a group of kids from the MENA region, we put them in just like one online virtual session with the storyteller telling them a story and telling them the moral of that story, and they can discuss it together. They can learn the words,
Amazing.
the new words. Based on that, I would say that structure, we designed like more programs like Tajarub, the science experiments, where the actual just do the science experiments that they see in these movies, and for them this is just like pure magic, and then like they can discuss what's happened. If you like back in when it was just idea stage, when you just imagine that, you get very hyper, hyper that you want to build this. So like this is what happened to us, and alhamdulillah we were able to do that.
No, definitely, alhamdulillah. How's the reception so far? What is the feedback?
Actually, amazing. It's one of the main things that keeps us going. You know, the feedback of the parents, the result. Like the results are so pure. Like for example, one of the parents said that my kid learned how to tie his own shoes.
Oh my God!
Just because in the story there was a kid that was tying his own shoes.
How amazing
So
is that?
you know, the kids they listen to stories, they see themselves in the story, and then they want to replicate what happens in the story. So the feedback was amazing, especially during the pandemic. Everyone was at home.
Right.
There was nothing to do, you know. So it was a good getaway for kids, like something useful to do. I would say the most important feedback that we got is that their kids, our kids, they got like a lot more confident, you know, because
Wow.
they talk to each other, they talk to the storyteller, they do things together. They have more confidence in speaking up, telling their opinion, which I would say this is our main value, like to make the
Amazing.
kids confident.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for making this happen. Honestly,
course.
definitely. I mean, I wish I had that when I was a kid.
Actually, we have like a channel in the work just for our motivation. So every time we receive a good message from a mom or a dad, we just like send it in that channel. So it just like boost all our effort and our motivation
Yeah,
up.
it's
Yeah.
our
Wow,
fuel.
that's just beautiful. I mean, back to Hakawati, right?
Yeah.
So I took like a little spin over there, and you have such amazing storytellers.
Exactly.
They're so dedicated, so passionate, and
Yeah.
when they speak, the voice, all of that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a kid again. I'm gonna listen to you.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe I'm older than her by 10 or 15 years,
Yeah.
but you're still, you made me a kid right now.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing talent. I keep saying that. It's unbelievable. So now, beside Hakawati and Tajarab, what other programs are you're gonna focus on, or you're focusing on right now?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
So one of the main things that we focus like on is Arabic language.
Okay.
We have seen like a gap in it in our
It's
kids.
the language itself.
Yeah, as a language itself. It's because, you know, private schools, movies,
Right.
gaming,
Right.
and
the pop
everything.
culture altogether,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to like just do a balance, you know. So we have a program called Masrah
Okay.
Theater. So what we do in this program is we send a script for the parent to print it for the kid, practice it, and we give each role like a role for each kid, and then online they all come online in one session and do the whole play together.
Wow.
With the storyteller, of course. So this is one program we have. Another one we have is we call Adib.
Okay.
It's about like instead of reading the story, it's about writing the story. So writing short stories for kids, you know, just to make them imagine and write their imagination and record it somewhere. We actually sometimes publish these stories just for them to, you know, we imagine when they grow up and they just see what they used to do when they were a kid.
Wow.
So
How did you come up with these ideas?
we have
a lot
like
of
we have a creative team.
brainstorming sessions.
Wow. But it's interesting because, you know, the thing is what you said right now is so beautiful, but, you know, but we always thought if anything to do with masrah, which is theater, it has to be with actors on a wooden stage, you know, and you have to be
Yeah.
so eloquent and articulated with your words, but putting it as an actual session,
Yeah.
it's just like,
Yeah.
love
It's
that.
all about having fun. So we want them to learn Arabic. We want them to read Arabic. We want them to be able to articulate in Arabic. But how to do that in a fun way? Let them act. So
them
just
act.
act it out, and that's it. You know. So
Wow.
it's about bringing the fun aspect into education.
Amazing, amazing. So you have Tajarab, Hakawati, Adib, Masrah. Any future projects?
Yes. So right now we're working on something totally new. What we're trying to do right now, and we actually have done the beta version of it,
Okay.
is that we're trying to bring the virtual sessions to physical sessions.
Ooh.
So,
So
reality, yeah.
into reality. So right now we like contracting with some venues that like we would like to like rent your venue like after the school hours or so, and then like we will actually do the sessions live. We'll actually bring the storytellers. We'll actually the kids will actually come to that venue, and we will do the session like face to face.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
As you're right now explaining to me the whole project, it just that I feel proud that you actually made this happen.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
you
you
made
so
it like
much.
your actual business. Do you do this full time or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. The
Wow.
team consists of 8 people. We do this full time. We have about 60 instructors and storytellers all over the world.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We have about a group of content creators. These are freelancers as well. These,
Okay.
these also like around 5 to 10 people as well. So yeah, like behind Raed is actually a huge team working all over around to
Okay.
achieve this.
I can only imagine the amount of work and the challenges you have to go through, but you kept yourself motivated all the way till the end.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to ask you like what keeps you motivated, but you already answered that. You know,
Yeah.
the feedback alone can
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
fuel your passion all the way
Definitely,
to the end. And apparently you guys are just starting, right? And just scratching the surface.
Exactly, exactly. We have big plans. We're aiming like hopefully within 5 years we want to have 3 million active
3 million.
3 million active
Okay.
child for the whole MENA region with us.
You'll pass that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3
hopefully.
million? No, no,
Yeah.
you'll pass that.
Yes.
Saudi alone is going to help you with that cover,
Yes.
that quota. You're going to go way beyond that,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, I would love to have even more talks with you. I guess we will offset, but let me know any last words to your viewers.
Yeah, like just keep in touch. We have amazing stuff coming up soon, inshallah, with Raed.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure having you with us
Thank
here,
you.
Khalid
Thank you,
and
Marwan.
Mahmoud,
Thank you so
on
much.
the Bahrain Now show. Thank you so much,
Thank
and
you so
we
much for
can't
having
wait
us.
to see the future what holds for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Farah.
Pleasure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I said earlier, definitely the Raed application brought the kid in me, and we just enjoyed it so much. All that took place in an interview right here on Bahrain Now. A mom and a life coach from Russia who have established her life in Bahrain has dedicated her time and effort to spot the perfect places and activities in the country under one guide for all moms and provide plenty of options for them and their children, of course. So with us in the studio is Olga Ghali. Well, good evening.
Good evening.
It's a pleasure having you here on Bahrain Now, and you've been pretty busy with all the activities, right?
Yes.
Definitely. So tell us more about yourself.
My name is Olga Khali, and I'm a mom blogger in Bahrain. I opened my blog maybe around almost a year ago, and with an idea that I want to help other moms in Bahrain during Corona to find the activity places for kids and parents as well.
Amazing. So what inspired you to do that?
Depression.
Simply said. Simply.
Well, that was true, because not only my depression, but depression of old moms, and
Right,
I felt the
right.
need, and I felt, that, self-help. Who helps you unless you can help yourself?
Definitely.
And my kids, I think this is the kids who were pushing us to the limits and telling us that we should do something,
Right.
and then we did.
That is an amazing start. I love that. Definitely. It's like, yeah, well, we felt down.
But
And-
that's truth.
It's so true. It is so true. So where did you start? What was the beginning of your adventure?
I remember it was a year ago, and I think it was after the summertime that we spent isolated in the houses. And after 3 months, I already felt my kids and I, we could not stay anymore indoors, and the weather already started getting better.
Right.
And we just started walking. We went outside of our compound and just start walking with kids. I have my kids, I have neighboring kids, and my kids' friends, and
Okay.
we just was walking on the street in the middle of nowhere. And it was better than sit at home.
Right. Right.
And I hear my kids were starting hearing some animal sound,
Huh.
and they told, "Mama, can we please go to that place?" And it's that curiosity of kids that took me there, and we went and we saw beautiful farm. Well, like it was a farm. I wouldn't
Right.
say it's like amazing and clean
What, you
farm, but it was like, you know, authentic. I would say there was a lot of chickens, there was a lot of lambs and
Okay.
donkeys. There was racing donkeys and
A
kids,
race.
and the kids thought, "Oh, Mama, this is a unicorns!" And you know, in the middle of pandemic outside in the 36 degrees, I found the unicorn for kids, and they were like so happy. And I start filming these things, and I start filming and posting in my
Okay.
personal account. And
Okay.
my friends that's from Russia and Bahrain as well,
Okay.
they start telling me, "Oh, where is it? Like, where did you find it?" Like, you know, they were amazed that, you know, there is things like this in Bahrain. So that's how I come up with, because when the second time we also went outside from different direction,
Right.
we also find something. There was a camels. There was like camels was standing, I think, in somebody else's farms,
Okay.
and we start feeding these camels. And again, I filmed it, and the kids was like, "Oh wow, we never seen these things before," and stuff like that. And then we went to a wild beach. We found a wild, beautiful beach with a breathtaking view, which is Nurana Beach. And all these pictures, when I start posting in social media, they start making the comments and private messages. So can you please share with me the location? And that's why I decided to make a separate account and to list the location there, to make a beautiful pictures.
Okay.
And I think that's, I want to highlight this point that people were used to say like, "Oh, in Bahrain we don't have many beautiful places," but I believe it's the way you see it. It's the beauty is in the eyes of the person who sees this thing.
Beautiful.
And before I didn't see that, you know, Bahrain is you know, like has a lot of beautiful places, but when because out of my need, I was forced to go
You
on
had
the
to go
street,
out there,
and I have
explore.
to find these beautiful places, and I have to start seeing these places, and I started taking pictures, and then, of course, because we were sitting in isolated pandemic,
Right.
I have a lot of time to study, and I started studying the photography,
Okay.
mobile photography, and I started
Amazing.
working with these pictures in the photography, putting there, and
Using just the mobile. Yeah. Just mobile
just
photography.
mobile,
Okay.
some applications particularly.
All right.
And it was beautiful.
It's amazing. I mean, you make it sound like I don't know where you actually like got lost very much in the beginning of the adventure. Because if I would leave my place, if I would just try to get lost, I'll always end up at a karak shop. You know, here a cold store where I live.
Kids? Do you have kids?
2, yes.
How old are they?
They're like 9 and 5. I love how you're interviewing me right now. Let's go.
No, it's just because, you know, I have small kids. My
Okay.
kids was 1 and 3, and, you know, even though I would love to go to karak shop
Okay.
or just a coffee shop, they will drag me out and tell me, "Mama, what can we feed?"
Because when you say like I ended up at a farm, at a beach, and I'm like, where is she living exactly? Which part of Bahrain? I would mind going there myself. You said camels? You know, camels, like, I would have to make the effort to just go and ask where can I see one, pretty much, right? But apparently you've done an amazing job. I mean, the way you explore Bahrain is different than the way, you know, I would say an average Bahrain would explore Bahrain. So I guess coming back to the part, you said, you know, there isn't much going on. There's a mindset that Bahrain doesn't have much places, but you proved that wrong. You said and you showed us, because there is a lot going on over here. So now you're keeping your adventure going and going. Tell us more about your adventures now.
Like what exactly you're asking?
I would say right now in this point, like, you know, you took one adventure and took another adventure, and you showed people that there's a lot to be done over here. So now I think there's more coming up with your adventures or with your, I would say, explorations.
What I was looking in particular, I think I want to show, I'm looking forward to the winter, because
Okay.
the winter is our favorite time in Bahrain.
All right.
And I'm looking for a few places to open that was not open during the last winter.
Sure.
Because of Corona time. We were looking for farmers market. It's
Okay,
our
yes,
favorite place to
it's a
go.
beautiful place.
And even though there is ongoing farmers market in the Salmabad area, but there is
Okay.
also outdoor in Budaya Botanical Garden.
Okay.
And that's the beautiful location, because there you can not only shop the local vegetables, but also there is they're making a beautiful catering. There is a top restaurants of Bahrain is coming, and there is a place for the kids. They do horse riding, they do pony riding.
Amazing.
They have like a small zoo that kids can feed chickens and peacocks, and they bring different animals for for the kids to explore.
Amazing.
So that we're looking for this, and for the winter as well. I want to go again to these places.
Love that.
It's beautiful.
Love that. So what are so you mentioned the farmers and the other places. What is your favorite places besides those?
I can't say what is my favorite
Oh,
place
interesting.
because
Okay.
there is a lot of them.
Okay.
A lot of them. I cannot, for example, I cannot say like that. You know, I like Karzakan Forest more than the Mistan Beach because
Kazakhstan Forest, I love that. Yeah.
that is how this
Yeah,
is how
yes,
it's called.
definitely.
And because each place has its unique point. For example, if you go on a Damistan Beach, you see it's a rare place in Bahrain, but you can see the natural beach when there's the trees and the sea, and there is a fisherman's, and this all like unique connection and authenticity of this. When you go to Karzakan Forest and you see this beautiful arch and you go through it and you
Right.
feel like in the magical forest, or you go to
True.
Nurana Beach, which is you know, it's very open and you can see the breathtaking sunset with the people who are doing the windsurfing and
Wow.
boating as well.
Amazing, amazing. You've been exploring, you've been having an interesting life right now. You turned what you said in the beginning as a depressing time into a very joyful, productive
Sure.
time.
So
Amazing, that's
Sure.
amazing. So now, do you see yourself, you're pretty much showcasing moms what they can do with their children and their activities?
yes, and I put all this location in my Instagram account, and you can see there all the location listed in highlights. And there is moreover, I created the Kids Activity Guide Summer Edition 2021, and you can download it for free as a PDF file
Okay.
in my bio. But it's not only the listed location, our favorite location where we like to go, but there's also the promo codes that can give you the discount of the entrance of some places. So it's not
Wow.
only a place to go, but also it can save some money for family budgeting.
Definitely. Wow, thank you for doing that. You know, appreciate
My
you.
pleasure.
Definitely, you've done Bahrain a favor. That's for sure. That's for
But
sure.
Bahrain was nice to me as well.
Bless you. So now, you have the activities, you know where to go. Now, I'm sure with all that's been going on as you've been having your kids and your neighbors' kids and what's happening with all the activities, so do you see that now we can have a different kind of children's upbringing?
For sure.
Okay.
When I start my blog and I saw how popular it can be, I feel that we actually can tackle the mall culture. Of course, during the summertime we have not much opportunities to go outside, but we have a beautiful season of the winter, and we can explore outside with our kids. So we can bring our kids living together with the nature, closer together. And I actually want to say that's why I like about Bahrain, because I feel it's an amazing and unique climate for the kids to grow. Because why? Bahrain has a lot of good educational schools, and at the same time, because we're close, a small island, we have a chance to be with close to the nature. So
Okay.
we don't need to live in the big megapolis and
Right.
receive amazing education. So it's here on the island, very convenient, and at the same time we have a choice just after the school to go to the beach and see how the beautiful weather in Bahrain is.
I wish back in 1995 you were there and we had Instagram and my mom would actually go through your Instagram account to take us out besides just watching TV after
Wow.
school or playing video games, which I didn't mind, but listening to what you've been doing and what's been going on, I'm like, I wish I had that kind of childhood besides going out to a karak shop
Yeah,
every
hopefully.
day at 4 p.m. I still have
But
that memory. Yeah.
at least you have a stability.
Oh, yes. Blessings to that. So with all that being said, I mean, what are, I would say, your main activities?
My main activities is just to go and to find the new places,
Okay.
and or to go to the places where I really like, and to advertise them as more as possible in my account to reach more people as I can. And thank you for inviting me
Oh,
for
definitely.
TV, because I remember when I just started my blog and I was walking and I saw how much helpful it was for my friends, because they started going to the same places, and I was thinking, how can I spread that knowledge? How can I
Right.
show? How can I help not only myself and my surroundings, but more people, more mothers in Bahrain? Because if they would have this information, maybe this difficult time for them was not that harmful.
Right, right. I mean, I'm sure a lot of mothers in Bahrain, and maybe even the world right now, maybe even Russia, are appreciating your beautiful efforts, definitely. With all that, it all sounds fun and beautiful, but were there some challenges that you had to face to get this done?
I don't have any challenges
Okay.
because I feel like I fixed that one, and I
Amazing.
felt that was a challenge. Even though for example, when I was taking my neighbors, moms and their kids, we were going. I was driving like, there is some place with the parrots. If you go and you can see the birds singing, and here there is a horse riding place that has a playground inside, and they have a
Amazing.
pony camp. And then we're driving further. I was like, let me show. There is a beautiful arch with the flowers, and the kids can go and pick up organic vegetables. I start making the seasonal guides, so it will help for parents and mothers in Bahrain.
This is amazing. It's like you're having your own internal tourism system.
Yes,
Appreciate you for that.
I even have a hashtag, tourism Bahrain.
Let's go. Well, thank you so much, Olga. Bahrain thanks you for this. The Mothers of Bahrain is loving everything you're doing, so we really appreciate your effort. And now you got a fan. I'll be following your channel and like, okay, what's up next? Let's go. Vegetables, camels, karak.
Old Ladies Club.
Let's go. Definitely. Well, thank you so much for being with us here on
Thank you for
Bahrain Now.
inviting me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, no, you can't say that, we're bored anymore, because as you see, Olga Ghali made that happen for you in the sense of breaking that boring stereotype. And now it's time for you just to take your kids and go out there and explore Bahrain. Well, all that took place with Olga Ghali right here on Bahrain Now. A Bahraini girl started her passion in a young age. She was in love with mixing and playing with colors. Growing up, her creative side started to show. She enjoys using her hands to create do-it-yourself projects and artworks, and specifically enjoys the process that goes behind the art-making experience. With us in the studio is Fatma Sabbagh to tell us all about her beautiful adventure in the art world. Well, good evening.
Good evening to you. Thank you so much for having me part of the show.
Definitely, it's a pleasure. So tell us about your artistic adventure.
All right, so to be honest with you, I was inspired actually by my husband.
Okay.
Now, to be completely honest with you,
All right.
I didn't always know that this is my passion. Yes, I didn't know it was my passion at all. So yes, as a child, I used to paint and I drew and I did all of the artistic stuff like any child would do, and I enjoyed it. But sometimes life takes its toll on you, and I have taken a long break, almost 10 to 12 years break from painting and from doing artworks. So in this period of time, you kind of focus on your studies, because that's what's important to your parents,
Right.
your studies, your university, and then it's your career. So you kind of forget about what makes you as a person happy, right? So this is a journey of self-discovery for me.
Okay.
So my husband, here is where my husband got
Okay,
got
big
inspired
shout out
by
to your
him.
husband.
So my husband is a man of so many interests, so many hobbies. He enjoys
Okay.
astronomy, investment. He's a car enthusiast. He does engineering. He does so
Wow.
many things.
He's Tony Stark.
He does so many things, and I'm there just sitting down, and he asked me a question a few years ago. I think when we initially got married, he told me, "What do you enjoy doing?" Like, I have so many activities going on. His schedule is quite full. And
Okay.
instead of me sitting around waiting for him, what do you enjoy doing? What is your passion? And to be honest with you, I thought, okay, I enjoy my family, I enjoy, shopping, and I enjoy, I do my work, I enjoy studying, but that's not really what makes my heart sing, you know what I
Right.
mean? So he said, that's not it. What do you enjoy doing as a person? What makes you happy?
Wow.
And I couldn't answer that question.
Interesting.
Yep, I couldn't answer that question. And I think after that, I promised myself after that conversation that I would at least try one thing every month, a new experience every month, until I find what I'm passionate about.
That is unbelievable.
I know,
so for
right?
how long you've been trying?
I've been trying for a year and a half.
Okay, so,
So around
16 months?
Yeah, تقريبا.
Okay.
So I had different experiences. I've tried everything. You tell me, you name it. I've done water sports. I've done paddling, cycling. I went to the gym and I did cooking,
Okay.
pottery making,
Wow.
painting, and nothing really stuck. You know, like you still can't pinpoint what's your passion, right?
Okay.
But I realized that in those 2 hours of painting class, I felt like this time just flew by, you know? It didn't feel like 2 hours, it felt like 15 minutes. So in that moment of time when I was painting, I just felt more relaxed, it came easy, it was natural. So I felt like, okay, maybe that's how it should feel, you know?
Right, interesting.
So when I was painting, it was just me focusing on, you know, my brush strokes, the color palettes, and everything else in the world kind of disappeared into the background, you know? And now I still continued with that journey of self-discovery, you know, trying new things. But whenever I feel like I need to zone out and feel relaxed, I would actually paint or do something with my hands or, you know, paint furniture, paint walls or whatever.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so technically that kind of gradually evolved into my passion. So
Right.
even then, I wasn't sure this is something that I want to be doing. It kind of gradually evolved into something that I do on a daily basis. And from then on, I realized, wow, I just found my passion without even pointing out, you know, the activity. It just kind of happened. You know what I mean?
Just clicked, right?
Yeah, exactly. So at the end of the day, yes, my husband inspired me to be an artist or to pursue art. You know, but art is actually life. Art is everywhere. So inspiration, to answer your question, is, you know, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's
You
everywhere,
just have to
yes.
go explore.
Exactly,
And just
explore,
make it happen.
learn about yourself. What is your dislikes? What is your likes? What do you enjoy doing? These are the things that are very important. And by that, I highly encourage that you guys become more curious.
Curious, okay.
Yeah.
With your adventure to see
Curious
what
with
clicks
adventure.
with you.
Exactly, exactly.
You made it sound not only that it was your passion, it was your self-discovery / therapy.
Exactly.
I mean, I love that. Definitely love that. So, now, tell us more about your paintings.
All right.
So tell us about what's happening here, maybe the blue as well.
All right, so I have two collections today with me.
Sure.
We have the plants and vases and the harmony collection.
Sure.
So both of them are abstract art, but
Abstract art, okay.
they're quite different than each other.
Mm.
All right, so the initial one is the harmony collection. Now, with the harmony collection, I decided to, you know, get inspired by two elements, which is the earth and the water.
Earth and water. Okay.
All right, so both of the paintings here, they're inspired by the beach and by how the water flows back and forth on the beach. I remember back then, it was during the pandemic, I missed the beach. I haven't gone yet, actually. So I wanted to try to illustrate that feeling, that thought into the paintings.
Okay.
So what I did here is I allowed the paintings, or allowed the paint to flow organically into each other, to fuse into each other organically, just to create those, you know, natural patterns on the paintings.
Wow.
And so this is how they are created, honestly.
Love that. I love that. It's the moment you said that when you were focusing even on the strokes and the pattern and all that, I'm like, she found it. That's it.
Yeah,
When you
right?
when you just focus on the little details that people wouldn't even focus on, you know you have found the thing that clicks with you the most.
Yes, true.
It's amazing. So now, as you had that beautiful self-discovery, not everybody gets to have it actually, but you're one of the lucky ones that I get to hear here. Alhamdulillah. Now, do you follow anybody as a mentor at this point?
Okay, so I have several artists that I follow and I enjoy their works. There's locally and internationally. We have famous ones such as Mark Rothko,
Okay.
Jackson Pollock. Specifically Jackson Pollock because I enjoy his action paintings so
Okay.
much. I know they're long gone now, but their work still lives on, you know what I mean? So action painting is more of you being physically involved with the canvas. You are emotionally, mentally, and physically moving around, you know, the canvas and trying to put the drips down and creating
Wow.
the work. So when you see his painting, you don't just see, you know, an object, you see his movements, you see how he moved around the canvas, and each painting or line is created because of a certain movement that he has done in that time. So technically it still speaks, you know, the painting speaks to you. And that's for me, I mean. I also enjoy artists such as Vincent van Gogh. Starry Night is my favorite. It's very colorful and the movement is amazing. Locally, we have so many artists, so many local talents here in Bahrain, and they all deserve, you know, the shout out and the appreciation, obviously. But my favorites are, you know, obviously Abbas al-Musawi.
Yes.
Very colorful, very detailed abstract paintings, and I enjoy them very much. I also have another one, which is Ahmed Annan's artwork.
Wow.
They're childlike, they're playful. it's just pleasing to the eye to see, you know, and it's not just that, it has some depth, it has some meaning to it, and that's what is the beauty of art, you know?
Amazing, amazing. I mean, I'm just right now mesmerized with the talk itself, you know, as the fact is like, even I'm gonna ask you a question, I know I'm gonna get a very personal answer that is pretty much gonna be relatable to everybody, you know, because what you've done here, not only you discovered something you love so much, but you went to the depth of it, you've done your homework, you got your network going on internationally and locally, so, and even you know pretty much what strokes and the colors to use to change somebody's emotions, I guess, at this point. You went so deep, you engineered your art.
Thank you.
Love that.
I enjoy, before getting into the art itself, like I did that as a therapy thing for me. You know, it was mentally and emotionally, it's a way for you to zone out, you know what I mean? But as I went into it deeper and deeper and it became a daily habit, I didn't just stop there. I watched documentaries, I've read online, I took on courses and so on, just for me to familiarize with different, you know, techniques that are available out there. Who did what and when did they do it and when did it, you know, came to life? And what can we do with it, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So it kind of evolved into this passion and this hobby of mine.
I guess anybody would be lucky to be as passionate as you are in your journey, definitely. Now, with all that going on in the past, the present, what about the future?
All right, so for now, I think I'll continue to experiment, continue to create and produce more paintings, just for me to practice, you know, the skill and try different techniques and mediums and so on. I'm still very curious about how things mix with each other and so on. However, I am working on something that is coming up pretty soon.
Okay.
So
teaser.
So if you want to know more about it, follow me on my Instagram,
Yes,
fatmasabaq.art, to be the first to actually hear about it.
All right, fatmasabaq.art.
Yes.
That's it. We're going to give you a follow, see what is that future plan. You're talking about giving us that teaser. Okay, that was a good one. You know, like that. Well, with that being said, any last words to your viewers?
Well, my advice is to always stay curious. Stay curious. You only have one life, you know? You don't want to be wasting it. Stay curious, try new experiences, expose yourself to different things, try different mediums, try different activities, and sooner or later it will lead you to your passion. It will lead you to something that you actually like and would like to get more into.
I love that. I love that. Well, Fatma, definitely a very inspirational talk. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful story, and I'm sure you inspired me and others all together. Thank you so much for being with us here on Bahrain Now.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's definitely a great pleasure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just keep exploring and experimenting, and you might actually click just like Fatma did. Thank you so much for being with us here, and this was the talk right here on Bahrain Now. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for another great episode of Bahrain Now. As usual, be sure to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below. And stay tuned for more exciting segments on Bahrain Now. This was Bara Abdallah. Till next time, Bahrain, good night and God bless.